A pedal strike on your trail ride can mean tears, and it can certainly stop you in your tracks. Now there's a lot of talk about pedal strikes when it comes to e-mountain bikes. And it's all about technique rather than fitting shorter cranks to your bike. So today we're going to be taking a look at how you can avoid pedal strikes on your e-mountain bike. So what exactly is a pedal strike? Well, a pedal strike occurs when you've mistimed your footing and your pedal strikes an object on the trail, be it a rock or a root, and it can be pretty nasty. Sometimes you can just simply pat your pedal on top of it, which isn't such a big deal, or it can be a full-on strike where it will stop the bike in its actual tracks and normally try and flip you over the handlebars or try and high side you down the trail. It is not a good look. So let me introduce you to a few members of the rock strike family. We've got one here, we've got one there, we've got one here too. They're all over the place. Now, why might a pedal strike occur? It's usually down to a couple of things. You really need to forecast where your feet are going up the hill. You need to analyze that trail and think, I'm going to pedal there, my next pedal's there, as you walk your way up the hill. It's kind of working like footsteps up a hill. Also, your sag might be incorrect on your bike as well. So your bike is sitting down into its suspension too low. That means once you've got your weight on the bike, your pedal and bottom brackets are going to be really low and just waiting to strike every single thing in its way. So how are you going to avoid a pedal strike on this next section of the trail? Well, this part of the trail is really key. The switchback before that steep climb. It's your chance to analyze how much power you're going to need to get up the climb. So which power mode you're going to be in, which gear you're going to need to be in. And also take a quick look at those possible rock strike situations. You've got one here, you've got one this side, and another one before that step. And the step is also where you're going to need to put a lot of power in to get the bike up there. So I'm going to try and come into here, nice bit of speed, and use a bit of motor overrun. So I'm going to freewheel past these, then once I'm clear of these two rocks, put on the power to get up that rock step and hopefully clear those next two pedal strikes that are going to happen. Sometimes it is inevitable that you will get a pedal strike on top of a rock. They're not such a big deal. It can sometimes help sort of claw you up there if the pedal lands flat. Just be ready for how much of a pedal strike you're going to get. If it's going to dig down behind the rock, you know it's going to stop the bike dead. But as I say, on top of the rock isn't such a big deal. You might just find yourself lift a little bit, but it doesn't mean that you've got to stop on the trail. Just use that pedal to get past the object. Motor overrun is definitely a key skill to avoid those pedal strikes. Now you might notice the motor, once you start pedaling, especially after you've been pedaling hard, will actually turn a few revolutions and then stop. So you can actually use this to glide past those obstacles you see on the trail. You really need to put in a massive effort before you need to shut off, then simply glide past that potential rock strike using an overrun with your pedals level or lift them to get past that obstacle. So not only does a pedal strike want to attack you going uphill, it wants to attack you wherever it can. It can be on flat trails, it can be on downhill sections, and exactly the same thing applies. You need to scan ahead and read the terrain as it comes into you, looking for things such as your pedal's going to strike on the right and the left hand side. Particularly if you're freewheeling through an open bit, you might tend to drop a pedal slightly, so you're pedaling with one pedal low and one pedal high. This is really bad technique, and if a pedal strike is around, it will certainly bite you. It can cause a pretty nasty crash, especially when you're cruising through the woods not expecting it. So on technical terrain, it's really important to go through there with your pedals 3 and 9 o'clock, reading the terrain before it attacks you, and even think about things like compressions when your suspension bottoms out, that it's not going to cause a pedal strike. You really need to look ahead and think about all those different rocks and roots and how your bike is going to be affected by the terrain, and adjust your feet so you don't hit a pedal strike. So there you go, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video all about avoiding pedal strikes on your ride. There's a few things you want to take from today's video. It's all about checking out the sag on your bike to make sure you're not running too much sag, so sinking down and getting loads of pedal strikes. Remember, 30% sag for your rear shock. Also anticipate that terrain as it comes. Think about where your feet are going to be and things like that. But if you wanted to stick around and check out another video, check out Steve and his technical climb video down here. That's a really cool one. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Drop some comments in the box below about how you guys avoid all your pedal strikes. Whilst you're there, subscribe to EMBN by clicking the globe in the middle of the screen and smash that notification bell for every time we upload a video. You'll get a notification. Cheers guys.